Hey everybody, welcome to Grace and Fire. My name is Glenda. In 2020, I became a crazy chicken keeper of 9 laying hens, and my neighbors allowed me to put the chickens on their property because in the city limits, I'm not allowed to have chickens. I've learned a lot of things along the way, and I thought I would share some of those tips with you today. Now, I tell you, I'm not an expert in all things chicken keeping, but I've made some things in my life that have made it super easy for me to own these hens, and I thought I'd share those with you today. One of the very first things that I bought was a grandpa's feeder, and as you can see, my girls are demonstrating this really well. It's a treadle feeder that keeps out mice, it keeps out water, and it also helps me save money. Yes, the cost of these things are kind of pricey up front, but I can't tell you how much money I have saved using this. The girls were trained on how to do this. There is some holes on the side of it that I put a bolt through, and when they were about 4 months old, I began training them on how to use a treadle feeder, and then you just take the bolt out and you just adjust it until they get used to it. And now my girls actually have 2 of these in their run. I wish I had gotten the bigger one. This is actually the smaller size. But yeah, this is one of the best things. They come out of New Zealand, and I really am very thankful for it. And to the right, you see a blue Premier 1 waterer, and I love this because it's a heated water. I'm showing you the holes on the sides of the grandpa feeder. See, there it is. That's where you put for the training bolts. Well, anyhow, back to the water. It is a heated waterer, and in the summertime, it is like a cooler. You put in ice water, and it keeps the water cold during the summertime, but there is an electrical cord that in the wintertime that it keeps the water warm. Oh, look at little Miss Chicken Tender. And chickens like to perch, and this was one of the most inexpensive things to build as a perching. We just took a branch and some scrap wood, and my husband actually built this for the girls. In the evening, we'd get the girls up there on the perch on that all the time. And as you can see, we also used hardwire cloth to keep predators out. This is 1/4 inch hardwire cloth. This was the original run that we're looking at, the little one. We also have it on the big run. We've never had a problem, and it's also down on the ground as I'm showing you here, and then it runs up onto the side of their little run. And as you can see, there's this red screw. It's a 4-foot screw that holds down the run in case of a tornado. We have problems with severe winds in our area, so yeah, and there it is. You can see where the hardware cloth is down. We've had problems with raccoons and coyotes in my area, so this is definitely something I recommend if you're going to put that on. The other thing I have is a chicken guard door that is an automatic. It's either based on the sunlight or you can put the timer on it. I do it both ways. Right now I have it set on a timer just because we're having thunderstorms in the morning, and sometimes it's not bright enough for that door to open up, so I have it set on a timer so the girls can at least get out and get into their little run to eat breakfast. And I'm going to demonstrate this thing, how it shuts and how it protects from predators entering. Don't you like that little sign that the chicken coop is protected by the chickens? I got that for Christmas and hung that up. All right, so the door is down, and as you can see, I'm going to be lifting up on this. Now, it is locked in on either side. Nothing can get in, as I'm showing you. Yep, and I'm keep pulling, and I'm literally just using fingers, just barely trying to yank up. Nothing can get into it. So I'm going to open that back up because honestly, the girls were kind of mad at me for shutting the door. I turned the volume off to do this video, but the girls were all kind of making that sound. Had them kind of confused, but you don't see them. They don't like their door shut. And you can see inside of my coop, I use sand. It's not a method that's used amongst a lot of chicken keepers, but it's one that I really like. It helps me keep their coop clean. I'm able to scoop it like kitty litter and get the poop out. It takes me about 30 seconds. Thank you, Chicken Tender. It takes me about 30 seconds to scoop the poop and put it in a bucket. And then I just compost their manure, and I put it in my garden, and yeah, it's a great source of nitrogen once it is fully composted down. But I absolutely love the sand method. They're able to get the poop off their feet or any mud off their feet. And then they also dust bathe in it. It's like really, really good. Another thing that we use, of course, you want to have lots of ventilation, but I use a battery operated fan. I have 2 of them. There's one on the inside as well. We do not have electricity to the coop, but making sure that there's air circulation and that the girls stay cool in the summertime, that's super important. I also provide my girls oyster shells. My husband made this bird feeder like thing, and we just put oyster shells down in there. He put plexiglass on the front so I can see when I need to refill it. So the girls just get oyster shells as they need it, and it just stays shut. There's the other grandpa's feeder down there that I was telling you about. And there's the water. That was the original water during the winter time. This is the actual one that we use to stay heated. The other one we just put up because my girls don't go through enough water. Okay, and then there's the sand method you can see down there. Now this is a poop board. I collect the poop off that. I also use recycled feed bags to line the inside of the coop. That helps keep the cleanliness down, and you can also see that I had a thermometer in there. I have a camera on the inside of the coop, so I point the camera towards that thermometer. If I'm not at home, I can see what that temperature is. Oh, I'm going to demonstrate how I scoop the poop. There we go. But anyhow, I can see that temperature, and I can have a friend go, if the battery's dead, and go change that battery out for me. Or if the chickens are not in, I can have a friend go check on my chickens. Chanel keeps trying to jump out. Her and Coco like to jump out when I open that door. They think it's freedom. But anyhow, yeah, it's one of the nicest things to do. I also line the door on the to the main door, just because you never know what gets all over it. There's Miss Coco, little Miss Drama. Hey girl, that's my girl. She is actually my favorite chicken. She's got quite the personality. Well, anyhow, I use Sweet PDZ on the poop board. This helps absorb their manure. It also keeps the smell down, keeps flies down. It is also OMRI organic, so you can put this straight in the compost. It adds minerals to it. Highly recommend it. I have no problems with it in my garden. It composts down perfectly. There's their boards, their roosting boards. We need to change those out. They're about 2 years old, so I need to put fresh ones in. Anyhow, but I really like that. Inside of my nest boxes, we use aspen nesting pads that I get on Amazon. Make sure you get the right size, because you can get the wrong size, and that's what I did. There are actually 2 of those. I need to get the bigger ones. Those are the real eggs, and over here are the fake eggs. Originally, I bought this plastic nesting pad. I'm not a fan of it, and really all you could see is that one girl laid an egg. The eggs that have a mark on them, those are the fake eggs. That helps me keep the girls from pecking at the eggs. I have 4 fake eggs. So if your chickens are egg eaters, get you some fake eggs from Tractor Supply or any Tractor Supply store type thing, and put them in your nest boxes, and you should not have any problems, or it should help cut that back at least. For today, I had 5 eggs. Whoop whoop. So that was a good thing. And then let's see here. Yeah, I'm just showing how the nest box is. And okay, turn the camera on. Okay, so here's the coop. You always have to have a coop, and here's the coop. I bought my plans on Etsy, and my husband and I are woodworkers. This coop was actually not that hard to build. In 2020, the coop cost us less than like $300 to build, and that's without anything additional fancy to it. That's just your basic supplies, your wood supplies, not your hardware, the extras, just your basic supplies. That does not include the cost of the run. I don't remember what that cost us to build, but anyhow, if you if you are a woodworker rather, I highly recommend that you build it. Oh, and if you deal with predators, highly recommend this Predator Eye Pro. I had trouble getting it to light up when I put it on here, only because of the sunlight, but I'm going to show how it works. It looks like two beady eyes in the middle of the night. Oh, see, it blinked right there, but hang on a second. I'm going to show you here in a second how it works. But what it does is it deters the predators because they think that there's one of their predators looking straight at them in the night. So see, there it is. It's blinking at them. It actually is a great tool to use, so I highly recommend it. And I just put it right there on my little door handle, and that keeps predators away from them at night. I've not really had any problems with it since I've put that on there, knock on wood. Of course, we're about to hit corn season, and that means coyotes and raccoons are going to be a problem this year. And the final thing that I'm going to leave you with is I use mulch in my runs. And I know that some people use different things, but personally I like the mulch method because it turns it into compost. Oh, there's my rooster, Henry. That's what I tell everybody. I have a rooster named Henry. Anyhow, when you use the pine shavings, it all turns into compost. And of course, you have to set it off to the side to let it cool down. I would not use it directly in your garden unless you're putting it in there during the winter time and then it has time to cool down. But I highly recommend using mulch in your runs. It keeps their feet clean. It's good for the overall health of the bird, but it also can be used for compost. So I highly recommend that for your chickens. I just get the cheap mulch, not any colored dye mulch, just plain mulch in bags from my big box local store, but you can also get it at your local municipal mulching store. So anyhow, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful day.